Okay, you guys. So today we are going to move into 5.4, which is just giving you another way to see the information that we've been working on this whole time. So we're still going to be writing an equation, right? Which is this, our y equals mx plus b. But we're going to write it from a table of values. Okay, and we're going to talk about that here in just a second. But let's review just a second on what these things are that we need. So when we're writing our equation, the two parts we always need are m and b. Hopefully that's familiar to you by now. M is your slope, right? It's rise over run. Rise means we can go up if it's positive, down if it's negative, and run means we're going to the right. Okay, it's always a fraction. It's always y minus y, like y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Anything that you need in there, okay? The b is going to be our y-intercept, right? So this is where our line crosses the y-axis. Remember, it's a point, 0, comma, and then whatever that y value is, but it's always on the y-axis every single time, okay? So be thinking about those two things all the time, m and b, slope and y-intercept. So as we move into the first example here, I want you guys to make sure that you're thinking about all the things we talked about in the earlier lessons, okay? Your answers are still going to be equations. So when you get done writing it, it should still be y equals mx plus b with numbers filled in for m and b, right? So I wrote out the steps for you over here. First one, pick any 2 points to find the slope. Okay, well, that's the difference today. Instead of giving you the 2 points listed out like this, right? We did in 5.3. We gave you an entire set of points that you can use, okay? Now, you can pick any 2. It doesn't matter because every single one of these points, like this is like an ordered pair, right? I put parentheses and a comma in the middle. It's just like listing them out as ordered pairs, x and y, okay? But if you notice and you take each one of these and put them on a graph, right? If I were to graph each one of these points, hopefully you know that they would make a straight line, right? So in this case, we would hope that it would be something like, I'm just making something up, but if they're all there, that every single one of these points down the line would all be points that are on here. So it doesn't matter which 2 you pick because they're all part of the same line. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Now, you can pick any 2. They have to be coordinating together. So here's what I mean by that. If I chose the point 1051, right? So I could put in here 10, 51, and then my other one is 211. They still have to be in the right spots. This has to be x, y, and then x, y, so you're paying attention to that. If you went straight from the table into the formula for slope, then you would need to make sure that you go in the right order, right? So if you didn't write them out like this to kind of give yourself a little hint, then you could use the table and go straight from there, but you have to go in the same order both times. So what I mean by that is if you're plugging in y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, let's say I chose to say 51 minus 11, right? That's going from here up this way. If I chose 51 over 11, I can't just randomly select 2 other ones over here. I have to use the exact same 2 from the first 2 I picked. So that would be 10 and 2. So 10 minus 2. Okay? Then just subtract like we've been doing. So 51 minus 11 is 40. 10 minus 2 is 8. 40 divided by 8 is 5. Make sure you're simplifying. This is our m, our slope. Okay? That's the first half of our equation. Now, the second part says, write y equals mx plus b, right? Using 1 point and the slope. 1 point. So I have to go back over here and get a point. I'm going to use the same one, 211. You could pick any one that you want, okay? So I've got my M, my point is 211, so this is my X and my Y, and let's plug it in just like we did all last week. So 11 equals Y equals M, which is 5, times X, which is 2, plus B. 5 times 2 gives me 10. 10 plus B equals 11. Because 10 is a positive, we have to subtract it from both sides, and that leaves me with 1. Okay, so here's my M, here's my B. Let's write an equation. That's what your answer should look like. So Y equals 5X plus 1. Okay, same thing that you did all last week and that you did on your quiz. So it's very familiar looking. The only thing we're putting in here now is the table. Okay, so I'm giving you lots of points to pick from instead of just the 2 that I have written out for you. Okay, now this table is flipped horizontally. So same concept, but you have to be careful of where your X's and Y's are. So if I pick these 2 points here, that means my points look like this: 36, negative 12, and 30, negative 10, right? So XY, XY, and let's plug it in. Negative 12 minus, and then 10 is negative also, so make sure you get them both in there, back to back. Then we have 36 minus 30. Okay, back-to-back negatives make a positive, so negative 12 plus 10 is negative 2. 36 minus 30 is 6. We need to simplify, so this becomes negative 1 over 3. And there's my M. Right? Now let's go get a point. I'm just going to mix it up and go over here and take this one. So my point is 18, negative 6. Here's my X. Here's my Y. Let's plug it in. Y equals, so negative 6 equals M, negative 1/3, times X, 18, plus B. Okay, negative 1/3 times 18. All right, that would give you negative 6 plus B equals negative 6. Okay, then I would have add 6 to both sides. These are gone, and this actually equals 0, right? Okay, well, if my B is 0, I never have to write plus 0. So we just have Y equals M, which is negative 1/3 X, because we wouldn't put plus 0. So there's your equation. Okay, same thing, doing great. Just a bunch of points to pick from instead of only 1. Or 2, sorry. Instead of only 2. Okay, let's go here. So same thing, pick your points. I'm just going to pick this first 2. Let's keep it simple. So 111 and 215. XY, XY. Right? So my top is going to be 11 minus 15. The bottom is going to be 1 minus 2. Okay. This is going to give me negative 4 over negative 1. Right? Which is negative over negative makes a positive. So this is 4. 4 equals my slope. Okay. Pick a point, and I'm just going to go back to the top. So I'm going to do 111 again. Here's my X. Here's my Y. Let's plug it in. 11 equals 4 times 1 plus B. Y equals MX plus B. Okay. 4 times 1 is 4. It's a positive, so I have to subtract. 11 minus 4 is 7. Okay, here's my M. Here's my B. Let's write it out. Y equals 4X plus 7. Okay, Hopefully this is feeling pretty easy to you since we've already done the other ones. Let's keep going. Pick 2 points again. I'm going to keep it easy again. I don't like those decimals, so I'm just going to skip them. You can pick them, but if you don't have to, then don't do it if you don't like them. Okay? So again, y's are this way and x's are this way. So make sure you're not going across. The i's are deceiving there. So 0, 3 and 2, 2, xy, xy. On top, I would have 3 minus 2, y minus y. Bottom, same order, 0 minus 2. So 3 minus 2 gives me 1. 0 minus 2 is negative 2. Again, that's my slope. Doesn't simplify. Now I'm going to have 0, 3 as my point. So here's my x and y. So y equals, so 3 equals negative 1/2 times 0 plus b. This gives me 3 equals half of 0 is still 0 plus b. And if I subtract 0, I still get 3. So 3 equals b. That's an easy one. Here's the slope. Here's my b, my y-intercept. So negative 1/2 x plus 3. Okay. Just a few more here. Almost got it. All right. So again, same thing. There's only 4 to pick from this time. So I'm just going to pick the bottom 2. Okay. 4, 6, 5, 3, xy, xy. Let's put on top. So y's minus y. So to get from 6 to 3, right? That's 3. And to get from 4 to 5, that would be 1. So 4 minus 5 is negative 1. 3 over negative 1 is negative 3. So there's my m. My point is 4, 6. Here's x, here's y. So y equals 6 equals negative 3 for m times 4 for x plus b. So 6 equals negative 12 plus b. And I'm going to add 12. 18 equals b. Here's b. Here's m. Here we go. Y equals negative 3x plus 18. Okay, doing great. Okay. Pause the video and go ahead and try this one on your own and see what you get. And then unpause to check it out, okay? No matter what 2 you pick, you should still get the same answer as me when you're done, okay? So just check the answer to make sure. All right, pause now and do it. I'm going to do this one myself. So I'm going to pick these 2, and I'm going to say on top is 3 minus negative 1. On the bottom is negative 1 minus 1. I'm going to have 4 over negative 2, which is negative 2. This is my m. My point is 1, negative 1 that I'm going to choose. Let's plug it in. Negative 1 equals negative 2 times 1 plus b. Negative 2 plus b is what you get. Add 2 to both sides. Negative 1 plus 2 is 1. So m and b means you should have y equals negative 2x plus 1. Okay, last one, same thing. Pause the video and see what you get. I'm going to try these 2. So I'm going to have 5 minus 10 and 2 minus 4, which is negative 5 over negative 2. These are negative over negative, which makes a positive slope. There's my m. I'm going to take the first point, 2, 5. Here's my x. Here's my y. So I've got 5 equals 5 halves times 2 plus b. 5 equals, so 5 halves times 2 is actually 5 plus b. Subtract 5 from both sides, and we've got 0. So my slope is 5 halves, and that's what my equation is going to be. Okay? Good job. Let me know if you need any help with anything.